I remember how cool it was when I used to get up on stage. They would call my name, and I get up on stage and be around nothing but women who are looking for mental stimulation. To hear the poetry come out of my mouth, and even back then, I had music. I would create music and stuff like that, and put the tape in my tape player and play it in the background and recite the track. And I would get off the stage. I would bring a woman on stage and sit her there. And it was always from those moments that I was always grateful that my mentor always taught me about my mouthpiece and actually how to really talk to women, to them and not at them. Because I want to tell you something real. If you think attraction starts with your hands, man, no, that's where the average man begins. And that's why they finish fast too. I was taught to be different, move different. See, what I want you to imagine this and think about this. You're not in a bedroom. You're not in a club. I'm nowhere. This is what I started to connect when I started opening the doors. Not in your bedroom. I'm not in a club. I'm in her mind. The lights are low, not in the room, but in her thoughts. And you're standing there, silent still, but fully present. And you haven't even touched her, and yet she's already wet and she's already touched. You see, that's what I learned by doing the erotic poetry, by connecting to myself. You see, I know the real seduction starts before the bedroom, it starts before the kiss, it starts before questioning, you know what? Why is she thinking about me so much? You know, why a single sentence that I've dropped earlier is echoing in her head at midnight before she goes to bed. Waking up in the middle of the night, grabbing her phone to see if I say something, or the first thing she thinks about when she wakes up in the morning is me, and why this speaks more than just compliments. You see, gentlemen, if you want to turn her on, forget about your hands. You've got to use your imagination to create the sexual tension. Guys, out the thing out here is that most men flood her with all this attention, trying to find a way to get between her legs, but not me. I slowly break everything down. I let the space, the time, and the silence do my seducing. And I know that anticipation, that uncertainty, that mystery, and all these things, these are the things that make her wet. When I walk into a world of sex while I'm still in my world, she's going to recognize that I've been there before. I'm unbothered, I'm not chasing, and I'm not asking for permission. She's inviting me in. I'm not trying to be liked, and I'm not trying to be fake. I'm just trying to give her something real. She's sitting at home. I love it when they're sitting at home and we haven't talked to each other in a few days, or maybe it's a few hours. Not out of strategies or anything like that. It's just sometimes we're both busy. She's working and thinking about me, wondering when am I going to message her. And you know what? She waits for anticipation. Then she starts to ask herself, do I want to reach out to him? Do I want to talk to him? Do I want to reach out to him and see what he's talking about? So most of the time, what they will do is they'll reach out and say, hey, you know what? I had a dream about you. I'm trying to figure out if it was a warning or a gift. I love to tell her, you know what? It's both. That kind of messes them up when they ask that question because they never heard a man talk that way before. Now she's just thinking about me all the time because she's inside my world. And all she's doing in there, creating the scenes in her head. And she doesn't even realize it. But guess what? She is actually undressing herself mentally for me. Yes, undressing herself mentally for me. And I have not even put a hand on her. And see, that's the power here. I understand at the end of the day, the woman is always going to crave me because I am always in the unknown, especially the sexual unknown, to a point where they crave the danger, the intrigue, and everything. They love me to be the forbidden fruit. And see, I am that middle ground or that gray area that she cannot define. And to her, what's so cute, what's so cool about it, excuse me, that's the confusion, the lack of control. This is where the desire lives. And she doesn't want a man to actually explain himself. She actually wants a man she can't figure out. She wants to feel like she's walking into this room with no lights on. And every door that she opens up leads to something deeper, darker, more sexual, and more thrilling. And she knows when she calls me, texts me, or gets back at me, she knows I'm the house, the unknown, that beautiful, beautiful thing of danger. I know her mind is a very powerful thing. It's more powerful than her body. So I'm going to speak to the most precious part that most men ignore, and that's an emotional core. I'm not going to speak in showing her my hand. I'm going to speak in riddles and truths and bold statements that make questions that she had to go away. Like, why is he acting this way? Okay. When you do something for me, I would be happy to say that you're beautiful, but not the way that you think it is. I'm not moved by your beauty. I'm moved by the way you move around me. You might have potential, but potential doesn't impress me. Show me the real you that most women are hiding. That's what I want to know. Now she's looking at herself differently. Now you triggered something in her. Now she's got to measure up to you. And it's right there. That's right there is emotional penetration. Let me say it again. Most men use their hands to create all this attraction. Nah, I use my presence and who I am and the lack of availability that I have. And when I talk to her, she should feel my weight even before I speak. When you talk, you speak, you pause in the power, not the volume. And when you look at her, you're not looking at her beauty. You're looking through her. You see, you're going to see parts of her that she forgot was even there. And that's the thing that turns her on. That's the things that's going to make her tell her friends. There's something about him, and I don't even know what it is, but he hasn't even kissed me yet. But I can't stop thinking about him. It's not a game. It's his presence. And at the end of the day, I'm not playing checkers with her body. I'm playing a deep, deep sexual chess game with her emotions. And every move that I have is always going to be calculated. And every word is going to be intentional, excuse me. And I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to let her fall deeper, deeper into me and this desire that she can't explain, to a point where she's going to allow me late at night to get her to play with that pussy. And when she's fully engaged in this emotional web that I've spun, it's not because I lied. It's because I did the weird thing. I sexually led her somewhere. And that's where she gives herself to me completely. Not just her body, her sexual trust, her mind and her emotions, her submission. And that is how you turn her on without touching her. Body will always follow the emotions. And I've always said that a million times. But if you can make her feel you in her thoughts, God damn, she's going to need you between the sheets. But remember, you're not chasing a moment. You're creating a memory. That's what all I'm doing. I'm creating memories that she won't be able to let go. Because guess what? I'm not just going to enter her life. I'm going to edge myself into her sexual mind. It's a game. And that's what we do.